Tony, Vesman says, can you give me advice on low estrogen? I'm natural and 29, but have low libido and anxiety now. Doctor said see a specialist for the estrogen. So yeah, I've experienced this as well. When estrogen levels are low, you lose like drive for life and sex drive. But getting estrogen levels up, I mean, if I'm not saying to take a steroid if you're not already taking a steroid, but a lot of steroids convert to estrogen, so it's really easy. And birth control pills are really easy to get a hold of too. The problem is if you're natty and you take estrogen, like birth control pills or something, it's gonna crash your testosterone levels. Like the way that testosterone and estrogen are, it's tough because that's a weird, like it's almost easier to treat someone who has high estrogen, low testosterone than it is to treat someone who has low estrogen, high testosterone. All right, my test was 370, so I'm considering TRT. Okay, so Vesman's test is 370. Normal range is like 250 to 950. So Vesman, depending on his age, is probably on the low side. But I will say, if someone has low testosterone and they are not experiencing any symptoms of low testosterone, it is possible that their body is receptive to low levels of testosterone. I have seen people, Vesman's 29 years old and natural, so his testosterone should be like 600, right? So he's 370. JT says he was 180. So I've seen bodybuilders, natural bodybuilders with low testosterone who definitely didn't take anything and they still had all the benefits of having high testosterone. So just because you have low or just because you have high testosterone doesn't mean it's optimal for your body. It's a lot more complicated than that. You kind of do have to go by the symptoms more than the number. It's always good to have the number because most people, will function best at a natural level of 600-700, right? So you can sort of use that as one indicator, but it's not the only indicator. Plus, you got to look at your free testosterone versus your total testosterone. All right, do you think your channel will blow up? Oh, Skywing, well, it did blow up before. It blew up in a good way, like the channel went completely viral, and then it blew up, literally got deleted and censored. So this is like rebuilding a new channel all over again. Yes.
We're in the pizza press. Do you want cauliflower for pizza?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'll text you what I want on it.
Sounds good.
I'm getting a cauliflower pizza for dinner. Heck yeah. All right, best TRT doses. Oh, well, that depends on what we're trying to do. I mean, I know bodybuilders that call 400 milligrams a week TRT, and that's a pretty high dosage. And then I know old guys who get prescribed like 100 milligrams of TRT per week, and their testosterone is great and they feel fantastic. So it depends on like your body size, your age, how sensitive you are to testosterone, whether there's any risks of having too much DHT or estrogen conversion. Okay, Master of Molar says, if blasting and cruising, should I take HCG off and on to keep balls working? Master of Molar, I will tell you what I do. I do take HCG on cycle, and I realize this is a hotly debated topic, but it's worked really well for me to take HCG on cycle. And I'll give you an example. It's nothing like set. I don't necessarily follow this all the time, but my HCG protocol on cycle would be something like 500 IU every 3 days for like 4 injections, and then I do that once per month. So it's kind of like use it for a week, take 3 weeks off, or use it for a week and a half, take 2.5 weeks off. And I just do it whenever I feel like it. I mean, if my balls start shrinking, that's when I hit the HCG. Like, that's the signal. All right, Keith has asked a number of times, and that's totally fine. If I miss your question, you can ask it over and over. Keith says, what motivates you? It's different every day. What motivated me to get into working out in the first place was my 6th grade crush kissed me, and she was smoking hot. Oh my God, she was so beautiful, and it was the best feeling in my life. And then, she's classic American girl, like, man eater. And she's like, I want a guy with abs. And I didn't know what abs were in 6th grade, so I started working out to get abs and working out to try to get this girl. And even though in the back of my head I kind of knew that I was chasing like a carrot in front of my face, like I was never gonna get it, it was like pleasurable to chase it. It gave me something to work towards. It gave me a goal. And I just wanted to become more and more jacked so that when she saw me, she would just jump on me and make out with me. And then, you know, later I eventually met up with her, and she was not as attractive as she was in 6th grade. I think I created, like, in my mind, a vision of a girl that was like the perfect girl who wasn't even her anymore. And I was chasing that. But you know, you develop hey, Papa Pump, you develop a ego around it, right? You start getting attention for it. You start getting known as being the strongest in the school. So I was known in high school, for example, I was known as the strongest guy in high school, and I was training so freaking hard, and my life revolved around it and gave me a purpose, and I was good at it, and I love learning. I guess the obsession is learning. And so it gave me, bodybuilding gave me something you can't beat. It's a video game you can't beat. So I never stopped working my ass off trying to beat this video game. And I had to work so freaking hard at it because of my genetics. I have the genetics of an endurance athlete. I'm actually meant to be extremely skinny. And I beat my genetics, and I built a lot of muscle. And I took pride in that. And I was always reaching for more and had to work so hard to get more. So that's what motivated me initially. I'll just finish with what's motivating me right now. Right now, I'm still obsessed with the science. It's not just bodybuilding. It never has just been bodybuilding. It's enhancement overall. So it's like, how do I enhance myself in every way? But right now, I'm really mentally, emotionally struggling with a lot of relationship stuff. I have 2 baby mamas. I have like 6 girlfriends, and I'm stretched a little bit thin. I was hoping that all these girlfriends would live in one big happy family in one house, and that's sort of the vision I've been chasing. You know, I thought, well, if I'm successful, you know, especially in my lawyer days, I'm like, okay, if I'm successful enough, I'm famous enough, I have a lot of money, I have cars, yachts, boats, jet skis, I have everything an American dream could consist of, then finally women will want me so much that they'll be willing to let me have as many of them as I want, all shared in one house. And I'm chasing this ridiculous dream. And the problem is, like, I really love baby mama, but she is so freaking stubborn. It doesn't matter whether I'm the king of the universe, she is still not gonna share a house with baby mama number 2, or so she says. You know, I'm still working on it, right? But I kind of like reaching the point right now where I'm almost gonna give up on it, which makes me really sad, because if I lose that dream, then then I don't know. That's like my motivation. Okay, but that's like my overall motivation, and I could talk a lot more about that. I am motivated by helping people. I always wanted to give as much value to people as I could. So I find that I have an insight, a gift. I'd say in biochemistry, biophysics. Biophysics would be how you would describe what one of my skills is. So I have to, if that's my gift, I have to give that to the rest of the world so that I feel like I'm worthy of existing on this planet, and that so my dad up in heaven will be proud of me someday, if you want some of the really emotional insight.